hello, and welcome to Coffee with Collins. I'm your host, Monty Collins. Today we have a wonderful guest. They are a photographer, author, mental health advocate, suicide awareness advocate. They are a TEDx speaker, extraordinaire. Uh, what else can I say about this fantastic human? M, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good morning. I would only get up this early for you.
Honestly,
No, that's a lie. I'm perimenopause. I've been up since 5.
5. All right.
Well, actually, you want me to be honest? My partner is a baker, so their alarm went off at 1:30 this morning. They leave for work at 2. So I technically woke up at 2 for a little bit and then went back to sleep and woke up at 5 because that's what hormones do after a certain age.
Well, I've been up since the dogs have been up. So, and when they're ready to go, we go on our little mile walk, and here we are.
At that hour, good for you.
Listen, I was telling you about my pups, my old man dog. He has the bladder that's like, we gotta go now. We gotta empty out right now. So that's rather same. Outside than inside, you know?
That's true. Somebody in the chat says it's National Chocolate Milk Day. Okay.
I love a chalky milk. Ooh.
That's just basically what my coffee is. Just some chocolate and sugar and, a little bit of caffeine.
I love it. Shout out to Isaiah. I want to say Isaiah. Yeah. I don't know how to read words. Welcome.
I think it's Isaiah, maybe.
Maybe. If I'm wrong, tell me in the chat. Feel free to leave some comments. Let us know where you're coming from. Let us know what you're drinking this morning. Because, listen, people could be going to bed right now. And they could be drinking a nice tea or a good brew, whatever. What are you drinking today?
Coffee. Coffee with some, I started the trend. The sweet creamer in the store? The Italian sweet cream. I started that. I asked for it once. I'm totally taking credit.
Okay.
Like years ago in the store, I was like, there's something called Italian sweet cream where you order it at like Met Market or something. And he did. And now it's everywhere. So
interesting.
No, that's all I have in my coffee usually. And I have 1 cup a day. So I found the biggest cup I could buy. And that's my cup.
I love it. What is on your mug?
They're owls. I got it at their 4 boys. I
love it.
Boys. Gender's made up. But I got it from where the tulips are, whatever that city is. The Conner.
Oh, yeah. That's right. It's currently 11 a.m. in Missouri, and I'm drinking Dabs.
I mean, that's a great drink in the morning. Get it going.
Get it going. Get the fuels are going. Well, on Coffee with Collins, it is really just a wake up, feel some gratitude, feel some good energy. And there was no one that I thought would be perfect. No, words. Do they work? There was no one else I thought better to have this kind of conversation than my friend M. I have been following you since early on in the Panini.
TikTok
press.
Years.
Yeah.
Right? Ooh. TikTok was a fucking mess. Oh my God. I can't. Listen, I have so much to say about TikTok. we don't have to jump right into it, but it's the beginning of the quarantine was a messy time. That's all I have to say. We all struggled, and I struggled publicly in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I've been very open on the podcast about my quarantine days because I was in a situation. I didn't live near or around my partner. I was still going in as an essential worker. So I had to mask everywhere I went. I couldn't even have dates with my partner. We were having car dates where we would go to the Taco Bell and sit in the parking lot and talk to each other through our cars.
stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild. But how kind of like sweet and lovely.
Yeah, it was very precious because it kind of like took our relationship back to like those basic little moments, you know?
Yeah.
And then once people were, you know, getting vaccinated and all the things, having that like, because I'm a tactile person. So like I love hugs, I love touching. So like not having that kind of like thing with anyone was so mind blowing, you know?
Yeah, it was hard. I got divorced after 24 years of marriage right at the quarantine. And so then he moved out, and then I had no community, and I had never lived alone since I had been 18 years old. So for 24 years, I was living by myself in quarantine with no community. And then all of a sudden, this online community presented itself. And then TikTok started to explode. And so it was like, oh, here's a community for me. But in reality, I really wasn't paying attention to what was happening in the real life, in the quiet moments when TikTok was not on. And that was a good lesson for me. It was really good. And then I took like almost a year offline to like fix myself, which was helpful.
You know, I remember that time. It did not feel like a year to me. It felt like forever, but also like 2 seconds because time isn't real. But there was like a video of yours that like it made me think, because that's kind of what you do, is you make other people think. And it was like a check-in, like, how are you doing? Have you really like, you know, sat there, felt your heart, you know, like, it was like something like very like grounding, which I am very good at not grounding because I live up here. And it was like, I like this person's energy. I like what they have to do. And it was like a ritual for me, like every couple of days, like checking in with myself, looking at what Em was doing online, and checking in with myself. And that's kind of where we started chatting, and been following you ever since, because you just got good vibes, you know? But I always loved all your plants, and I'm very envious.
They're everywhere. You can see them kind of like all up on the wall. This one's crawling along the whole wall.
My God.
Oh yeah, Mr. Crow. Yeah, they're everywhere. So what I tell people, this is not an exaggeration, when all of the beginning of quarantine, and I see Isaiah said quarantine was very taxing.
Oh, yes.
It was like that for me, and all of a sudden I wasn't taking care of myself, but my plants, I was able to take care of these plants, and they started growing up around me, kind of like this protection of this princess in the forest. Like it was very, everywhere I went, it was like crazy, but inside this little space, I was like, oh, it's okay here. I'm okay here. But when you were speaking to rituals, Collins, that's what I had to do. I had to create a ritual routine for myself because quarantine was maddening. So it was like, what do I need? Like, what takes care of me? And I had my plants, I was taking perfect care of, but I was not showering. I was not taking care of myself. And I was like, but this plant that was $12 is on a schedule on my calendar, but I haven't showered in 3 days. What is that? Can I swear on here? Is that a thing?
You can effing and jeffing. That's what we do. Cool. Yeah. You know, that's I really love that, because I think that while I can't do that with plants, I aspire to have plants and to have them live and grow. But I think
I don't believe you can't.
That's true. I words are spells, and I need to remind myself that I can do it. I just know, because of my neurospicy brain, that my pattern of behavior is that I go through ebbs and flows of things that I pay attention to. But my routine is definitely these dogs, because 7 a.m. hits and they're like, all right, it's piss time. Mom. We gotta go piss. Gotta go piss. If not, I'll piss on you. And you don't like that. And they're very routine. They know time more than I do, because I am often time blind. I don't think that time is real.
It's not. I mean,
Listen.
I had somebody correct me the other day, and I actually agreed with them. Time in regards to the moon and the sun, and like the fact that we have a circadian rhythm and there is a darkness and our body does need to reset and rest, that is real. But
Right.
the rest of it, we have exploited. So humans created time to exploit it and commodify it. That's all. So when people are like, you're late, I'm like, really? You made it up. You made it up.
Absolutely. I have been written up from so many retail jobs for being late. And I'm like, but I'm not late here. So
right. When people talk to me about gender and like, but you know, what were you born? I'm like, exactly, Isaiah. Like, it's okay, sure. Was I born with whatever let's look back at how we're being programmed. Like, how are we being programmed? How are we being? Don't get me started. My next book, Collins, I'm going to write a book about how people with uteruses are being controlled by our hormones, by our government, by people. Like, why are people like right now, like the perimenopause situation? I'm on top of it, but like, if you weren't, like, the amount of women that in your 40s and 50s are so powerful. Like, because I'm on hormones now, I'm like, oh, let's go. But there's certain powers that be that don't want us.
Yeah.
To do that.
I just posted on social media because I've been trying to find a new PCP, new primary care person, because that was so helpful to me 2020 2021 left the state of Washington. It's like, great.
Talk about abandonment issues. Jesus.
Right. Okay, I won't take it personally. Didn't go to the doctor then for a whole year because I was like, Jesus, I can't. So I've been trying to slowly find a new one. And my friend from work suggested this place called Salmon Bay Family Medical or whatever over in Edmond. So I was like, that's cute. That sounds great.
Salmon.
Salmon, you know. I saw that they were, a person of color. So I was like, okay, so there will be some of that, like possibly broken down. So they're, whatever. Little did I know. I went in to talk about like my, overall everything and some of my concerns as I go into, perimenopause or, whatever is next. And there, this doctor, a woman, Hispanic woman, had asked little information about my partner, assuming cis hetero normatives, and goes, well, you know how about Mexican men? They don't wear condoms. So
I would have throat punched her. Throat punched her.
Like, what happens when like that kind of like blatant racism happens is I just go, excuse me, can you repeat that?
Did you say that outside of your head?
What is happening? And like, I immediately just like shut down. I'm crying. And she goes, oh, looks like I activated something. Like that kind of like thing. I was like, so this is over. Like, this is over. And I got up, grabbed my things, and I left. Called my husband, and I was like, I just had a very weird interaction with a doctor.
A professional.
Yeah. I was like, I don't think I'm going to go back to them. He's like, oh, what's wrong? And I was like, I think the vibes are weird. I don't know. I'm like kind of processing it. And I was just like sitting in the car, like processing it. Like, how can a professional say that, do that?
First of all, bless your sweetheart, Colin, saying the vibes are weird.
Yeah.
That is gentle. That is gentle, and like the vibes are weird. Like,
yeah.
she
and
needed to lose a
like,
license
I
for
like
that
to
one.
do, well, that's the thing. It's like, I go, okay, or were they, what, did I say something? Did I do something? Because also trauma, being a third child and coming out of a fundamental Christian cult, going, oh, the reason why my parents are screaming and yelling at each other is my fault. So I'm thinking this is my fault. And then I go, no, wait a minute, fuck this. And I called my best friend and I was like, hey, how do you report someone? How do you report them to the medical board? And they asked me like their information, all the things, and they were like, did you look at their Google reviews? And I said no. And they were reading the Google reviews and they were like, they were denying people blood tests because their ethnicity and their race, they always ask for blood tests. So she was denying that and they were like, it was for cancer. Like we just want to look at like cancer markers.
I can only laugh because I can't cry.
Yeah, like I can't cry. So like, you know, I just kept looking at all the different things. I was like, you know what? Fine. I called the medical board. It was the weekend. So I was like, okay, they'll call me back. I had someone call me back and they told me where to submit the complaint. I submitted the complaint. We'll see what happens. They're
Good
still
for you.
They're still
of course
open
they
for
make
business.
You go through so many hoops, but it's like our medical situation is so dire. I couldn't find a PCP because I couldn't find somebody that took my insurance, but also had a trans experience at all. And I ended up finding a naturopath instead of a doctor. And she's been great through UW.
I love that. Ooh,
and
UW?
But she admitted to me, she was like, I don't have a lot of data on people like you. And I was like, okay, people like me, what does that mean? And she said, she was like, my bad. She was like, specifically people that come out as trans later in life. She was like, so you're mixing menopause with what's happening.
Yeah.
And so she was like, you're kind of the data. Because I was like, what does the data say about people that, you know, are getting their hormones adjusted when they need to be adjusted rather than adding them late, you know, when you're younger?
Yeah.
My hormones needed to be adjusted anyways. So now we're doing that. And she's like, your body's eating it up. It loves it. Like, we're not going anywhere. And I was like, great. And she was like, this could actually, like, she was like a little hit of testosterone could actually help a lot of people on menopause. And I was like, oh, imagine that. Like,
imagine that.
They don't want cis men can get testosterone as easy as calling a 1-800 number.
Yeah.
They don't even have to go through their doctor, but the hoops someone else has to go through because of, and I found out why, Collins. Man, the energy I have to work out now, the energy I have to move, the mental health skyrocketed. I was like, oh, this is the secret you don't want women to know.
Yeah. They want women to be docile
and just baby makers.
Yeah. Interesting.
So just put that little
thing in your little hat.
Right?
Yeah.
Isaiah, I want you to know I tried to respond, but it's not letting. I don't think I'm logged in or something. I couldn't respond. It's just at Faces of Fortitude is my socials.
I have a little banner. I'll put it on the bottom.
Oh, look at you. Look. Oh my God. Who knew you? You're so Listen. This is fucking practically CNN. What's happening?
This is what happens when you let an autistic person figure out a program and find out that there's so much more that could be. I can do this out of my
I'm so impressed. Also, I love the younger generations of people that are being diagnosed autistic and realize they have the TISM, because my generation, none of us have a diagnosis.
You know, it doesn't exist.
No, and my partner, we have an age gap, so they're younger. So they're in the millennials, and they're like, you definitely have a little autism and ADHD. Like, you're just there. And I'm like, sure.
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, so I've mentioned grew up with 3 siblings. My parents adopted one later on. But when I was 10, I had a pretty traumatic brain injury. I had a really bad fall on a bike and was kind of like in a coma, but it was like a day, so it doesn't count. I don't remember.
Does.
Yeah.
I mean, I've smoked blunts that have left me in a coma for a day,
a little bit. Yeah. But I was 10 and that was my second fall. So so my brain was a little scrambled for a while. And my mom always says that like that was like right after that brain injury, I was different. And it took me until being 13 to be diagnosed with ADHD from our Navy doctor, who was like, this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. And it was a nurse who advocated for me being like not even like fully through puberty. And we did all these tests and stuff, and they prescribed me Concerta. And I went from like when I'm off my medication, it's one of those things that like I can understand the words that you're saying, but it feels like that game that with the magnets on the refrigerator where the words, I can understand that those are words and I can understand the words and the phonemic value of them, but together I have no idea what you're asking me.
What is happening with these words? How do they go together?
Right. How does this work? So unless it's like I'm reading from a script or I'm like doing this, I couldn't figure it out. But the moment I started taking my medication, it was like,
I love that.
And meds
work. People need to know that.
Yeah, it was like one of those things of, okay, while at the time I hated them because I felt like I was less funny because I was no longer the class clown and I was able to like understand things. I was going from C's and D's in school to getting like A's and B's for the first time. And it really helped me to be able to go to college. And I think if I didn't go to college or I wasn't able to go to college, I would have been stuck in that cult, pumping out babies.
Right.
Just like my siblings stuck in, Kitsap County, rural area.
Ooh.
Where like
it's fun out there.
It can get really scary really fast.
Yeah, very.
And all that to say, I've always known that like my brain has been different. But it was actually during the pandemic and watching like TikTok videos, not necessarily like self-diagnosing myself, but I started talking to a psychiatrist out of UW because online talkatry, Talkspace, all those things. And they were like, come into our practice, Dr. White, super great. And when I showed up and they were like, okay, you are not like who we thought, like in person, because I've been masking for how long in my life.
Yeah.
And I started taking these tests and I, noticed patterns. Some of the things are like pattern recognition and like different things. And they were going, okay, it is difficult to diagnose someone later in life with autism, mainly because there's trauma factors. It's since you've had brain injury factors. And I've been on the same medication now for 15 years for ADHD. And it's the same medication that they would use for, autistic, what they used to call, oh no, it just escaped my brain.
I don't know it. So.
Okay. Well, it's like a sector of like schizophrenia.
Okay.
So it's all kind of
like DID.
Yeah. Similar to that. but it's a similar kind of medication that would help rewire brain. So it's difficult to diagnose this later in life, especially with all those different factors. However, what I present now means I'm on the spectrum, and it's not like the, sexual orientation spectrum where like I believe that everyone is on the spectrum of gayness, because I believe everyone is.
Absolutely. Totally agree. If you're not, you just haven't found it yet.
You just haven't found it, it happens. But it's a different level of spectrum that takes a professional to diagnose. But the first diagnosis is self-diagnosis. And I really want to advocate for like self-diagnosis is valid, whether or not it's to the degree in which it is. Right. That's what medical professionals are there to do.
And we don't have access to good testing and all of that. So self-diagnosis is necessary.
Correct. And the markers in different sexes and genders, and they see it not just in what's assigned at birth. The brain chemistry it can be different in all different versions of people. So what if you Google autistic and it always shows this, little frail boy, looking like Sheldon kind of thing. That's not my kind of neurospicy.
Right.
It's all different. But I talk about it a lot because it's like, because people see neurotypical and neurodivergent people as like binary of like,
right,
you don't look like it, so you're functioning, and you don't look like that little Sheldon character. So
do you know, I heard I don't know if it was on Instagram, a video I saw about autism the other day. This guy was like, this is just a what if.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I've noticed that neurotypical people are much less likely to ask questions and to go with the flow. And maybe autistic people are just not programmable. Maybe they're the ones asking the questions. They're the ones saying it's the neurotypical people are like monkey see, monkey do. This government tells you to do this. You do it because it's right.
Right.
It's a law. Neurospicy people are like, but why? Why do we have to do this? What does it do? And so maybe they're not assimilating. That's why they're trying to other them. And it's like, maybe it's the autistic people that are going to get us out of this mess because they're asking questions and processes.
It's true though. And I mean, this is also something my psychiatrist has said is, like during the test, he asked me, do you feel like in like a corporate work setting, do you feel like your bosses don't understand you or they don't like you? And I said, yes.
Answer yes to both. Yes.
Yes to both. Because I struggle, especially with someone being over me, and not because I want to be defiant. It's that I need to know the reason why I'm doing something. And if I don't know the reason, I'm going to ask a lot of questions. If I feel like you aren't approachable about questions, I'm going to figure it out for myself. But I'm still going to have all these parking lot questions of, sure, I can do it like how you want me to. I need the explanation as to why.
Yeah, I'm the same with
people,
management.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to.
Well, I have a problem with somebody saying, okay, we need you to do A plus B equals C, and this is how we need you to get there. Mm-hmm. If I don't think your process makes sense and I have a better way to do it, I just need you to worry about me getting to C. Like,
yeah,
did I get the job done? Is it timely? Is it good? Then don't fucking worry about how I got there.
Right.
Like that, I kind of need that kind of management for me. It's great. It's like, are you micromanaging me? Okay, then you can do this yourself.
I have said that in my head so many times.
Yeah. Oh, I've said it outside of my head, unfortunately. I have. So I don't just have a Leo rising. I have an Aries moon. I have a Sagittarius Mars.
Oh,
like I have 75% fire signs. And then my little Capricorn stellium is in the corner crying. Like, so I don't hold my tongue in those situations. Like, if I think you're doing something stupid, I'm going to find a very gentle way to tell you. Because I'm in my healing era. So it's gentle. I'm going to be gentle now.
I want to be soft right now. I find that for myself to be evident that I want to tell people so bad, this is wrong. You're doing it wrong. Or, hey, but unfortunately, I did not get the ability to softly, edifyingly stop and just go, hey, calm voice, because I go, oh no, I'm watching a train wreck. I need to scream right now.
But sometimes you have to. Like, listen, Collins, there's also so much to be said about how people with uteruses are literally taught from birth to shrink ourselves so that we don't upset people. Yeah. And fuck that. Like, I'm sorry. My new thing is when there's somebody that's that doesn't have a uterus, mostly cis men, that are feeling big feelings in public and that are filling up the space, to just gently go, those are big feelings. Mm-hmm. Because I've been told that much, like, you're being too much, you're being too loud, you're being too. So now when men do it, because we don't say anything when men do it. Am I on my male hating stage? True. Men fill the space. It's because they can't handle feeling it by themselves, and they need everybody to hold it with them. And that means there's no room for our feelings. So when that happens in front of me, I'm like, oh, those are big feelings. How you doing with those?
I would have loved to say that to my dad at any given moment, but
that's a good one. Dad's a good one. Why haven't I not used that on my dad before? That's great. Thank you.
Those are really good, really big feelings.
Those are big feelings. How are you doing with that, buddy? Like,
oh my gosh. Yeah, especially so coming from I don't know your relationship with spirituality and all the things of organized religion. But yes. A lot of my trauma comes from organized religion.
Ooh, what sect were you part of?
So I was part of the Assemblies of God cult. I'm going to call it a cult because it's that. Do you remember that documentary, Jesus Camp? Yeah. So that's what I was growing up in. Damn. I grew up going to like a Pentecostal church.
Oh yeah.
And I went to a Catholic church because my dad's from New England, rich New England. So we went to like some Catholic services. Something happened. And then all of a sudden we started going to this one church. And it was like people screaming in tongues, running up and down the aisle, slaying in spirit. Like the pastor would just go like that. And like a bunch of people would just like fall over. And I'm over here like drawing pictures of, I was drawing pictures of Jesus and the devil, but I always made the devil have a giant schlong in church. So much. And I'm just like, yeah, like being a child, and my mom would like rip up, because I would also draw them on the tithing envelopes that they stick and everything. So
you are a saint, and I love it.
So I'm just like drawing Satan, big muscles, giant schlong, and like, not that he was like using it like sexually or anything, but like,
hey, a body part is a body part.
Like, yeah, I'm seeing that there's, all these like stained glass windows, giant portraits of, naked people. So I'm like, why not? It's fine. It's an expression of self. And my mom would just rip up my pictures, and I'm like, you know what? Fine. It seems like
that is rude. Jesus.
Seems like she was upset about me drawing pictures with like genitalia, so I would just draw the leaf over them. And then I found out,
sweetheart.
It's not. She was like, we shouldn't be drawing pictures of the devil because that's how he gets in your heart. Okay. And then it only made me want to draw more pictures of him because I just want to see what would happen.
Come in here.
Yeah, I just want to see what would happen. But I always love drawing on those little offering envelopes because me not knowing, oh, this is how this organization makes money.
Well, yeah, I was raised in another cult called Catholicism, Roman Catholic.
Whoa!
So that was Catholic Church, Italians speaking in tongues, which I didn't know happened in the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
You know, First Communion, Catechism. I did all the things. And then when I was like 13, they do Catechism and you go to these Catholic classes and church and all the things. And I was, you know, taught about doing your, what is it? Saturday night, you do your confessional. So you do your confessional Saturday night so that you can take the body of Christ the next day, but you can't do both. So I wanted that fucking bread so bad. And I didn't, and that wine, I was like, I want to eat. How can I eat at church? And my mom's like, you got to confess your sins the day before. And I was like, great. And listen, I have been this bitch since day one. And so I was like, I was like, what if I haven't sinned? This is what I said. And they were like, everybody sins.
Everybody sins.
And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I am perfect every way that I am. Every choice that I make because I want to make it. Like,
absolutely.
And so they were like, my mom was like, that's not true. Like, find something. So I was like, fine. So I made something up. So I made up a story that I like hit my sister when we were doing something dumb. It was totally a lie.
Yeah.
And I told it and he was like, oh, you know, for our father, whatever.
Yeah.
Prescribed me with something stupid to say. And then got to get my bread and wine the next day. I was so excited. And then the next week when I came back, I was like, I don't have another lie, but I was like, I can tell him last week was a lie. So I was like, so remember what I said last week? That was a lie. And that's my sin. He looked at me and goes, this is not how it works.
But that's the rules.
That's exactly what I said. I said, you gave me a rule and I followed it. Yeah. And I said, it sounds like this is all made up. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't allowed to do it. And from 13, I looked at my mom and I looked at the father of the church and I said, hell is not big enough for everybody in every other single religion to go to. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't, and my mom's like, hell is infinite. And I was like, no, that doesn't make sense, Pamela. Like, let's think this through.
Yeah.
So I've been challenging religion since I was a child. And now looking at history, like it was all created to control us.
Yeah.
Like the way we made up words, literally, had to be made up before we could make up religion. So what came first, the chicken or the egg, Pamela? Like, come on. Sorry, it's my mom's name and I'm going through some therapy stuff of like trying to not call her mom anymore and like call her Pamela because she doesn't get that word.
I love that.
I'm a mom, so I'm like, that's a word that I have to work really hard to have. Mm-hmm. Because my daughter's a young millennial, and so she's like, she just turned 29, which is wild. I know. It's weird.
I don't think time's real.
I had her when I was young, but we are like besties, and I still feel 35, so it doesn't make any time makes no sense.
No sense. Nope, 0 cents. See, I went all the way to, well, I had to go to Christian college because my parents found me kissing girls. And they said, you're going to
Don't they know it's even thicker in Christian school?
I played college basketball. Like, what?
Oh, same.
What do you mean?
When I found out I could defend like this and touch boobs accidentally, yeah. I was in. I was like, oh.
What? Even just after everybody taking off their jerseys, it was something about like a training bra for me. I was like, oh.
Bisexual. Hi.
Oh,
yeah.
no. I am 13. Oh, no. Lots of things happen. But no, when they were like, yeah, you're going to go to Christian college, and dorms were separated by sex. So I had to be in the girls' dorm. I was in a room of four girls, and I was like, oh no.
Here we go. Sad.
Oh no, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna have to see girls change.
Oh no, a shared bathroom space. Oh no. But yeah, I went to this Christian college. I have a minor in theology, and all it did was make me not believe in organized religion anymore.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, is when I see people take theology and then come out more religious. I'm like, did you do your homework?
Right. Did you? But like, so I had a professor that was big on the 1942. It was 1942. Anyways, there was a period of time where Germany was translating the Bible into English. They were being homophobic, and they were translating things that were not correct.
Shocking.
And so things, and whenever people like use specific Bible verses to be like, see, God says no homosexuals, and it's like, actually, if you go back to the actual Greek and Latin.
And look at the Greeks. Hello.
Yeah, they were all fucking each other.
They were all gay.
All of them. Hello. When they were writing that, it did not mean that. It, these words actually were like for pedophiles, and I firmly believe that if there is a heaven and hell, those people are not inheriting the kingdom of God.
Well, and like, look what's happening now. Like all of listen, you can't tell me that like the connection to pedophilia, the connection to homosexuality and religion right now is so thick that people don't want to realize it. They don't want to acknowledge it, because it means everything around them that their families have built around religion, it crumbles. But in fact, the fact that these like GOP summits are happening in cities where Grindr is going down on those weekends, I'm like, I am waiting. I am so patient. I'm trying to be patient here, dolls. I'm trying to be patient, but I'm waiting for the dolls. I'm waiting for the dolls to open up those black books. Open up your phones. Share the phone numbers, babes. Share the text messages of those. We know they're there. We know that they're frequenting, but like it's so close. We're so close. I can feel the rumbling of everything beginning to fall like ancient Greece, but it's going to be a traumatic fall is what I'm feeling.
I'm ready for it. I mean, just seeing that Grindr had that outage in Arizona last weekend. Like,
it was like, sweetie, it is not the old people in Arizona doing that. It is not the retired communities.
That's not how they communicate. I know that there's a certain generation of old people that don't even know how to open a PDF, let alone a Grindr app. Come on.
Also, how are you going to convince me that your religion had all of a sudden woman is created by a bone from a man's rib, but we're the ones that can give birth? That math doesn't math, Charlie. Like,
it doesn't.
People with wombs, no matter if they're barren or not, people with wombs, because you have that in your body, are so powerful. And that is being downplayed for a reason, because of how powerful we are. And I'm like, one of my missions in my second stage of life here is to make sure people with uteruses know their power. Like, I created a whole person inside my body, and now she's a ballerina.
That's crazy.
So I'm kind of magical, freaking orange mango man. Like, I don't think you're gonna be able to do anything to me. Like,
See, it's things like that make, I know that science has developed. So, as I'm going into my 40s, it is possible if that's something that I wanted to do, but I've never had that like desire to be a parent to anything. It wasn't until last year, my youngest brother, they had a son. His name is Severio.
Stop. What a cute name.
He is he married into a very Italian, like New Jersey family. So like
perfect.
Like it's perfect. He is like just a little person. Like he is just like likes to watch his Miss Rachel. He likes his stuff. He likes playtime. Like he's just very like such a cute child. Like, and
children
he's
are
an easy
closer.
Baby.
Children are closer to our true spirit than any. We are the fucked up ones. As we get older, we add these layers and these things. And then I look at kids and I'm like, oh yeah, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
What did we create all this bullshit for?
Like, exactly.
I just want to be watching Miss Rachel and hanging out and having some snacks.
Yeah. Give me some goldfish in a juice box. Come on. Yeah. Everything. And then by noon, we're all taking naps. Let's do it.
Oh, Isaiah. I love that.
I love this
so
much.
I had my daughter very, very young. I was 21 and I had known her dad for 3 weeks. We got pregnant by accident.
That is
and wild. We barely liked each other. Wow. And I had come from a broken home. My dad cheated on my mom, and I had a stepdad that I just kind of got along with barely, and I wasn't going to be that person. I wasn't going to do that to a kid. So I looked at him and I'm like, you are either in now or you're out. You're not coming in halfway. You're not going to be visiting. I'm not doing that. I'm going to have this kid because I was doing a lot of drugs at the time. And I felt like the universe was telling me to stop doing drugs and all the things. So he thought about it for about 3 weeks and then came back and he was like, I don't want anybody raising my kid. And I was like, cool. So we made a 24-year marriage out of it. We kind of created friendship and learned to love each other. And we're still friends. We got divorced at the beginning of the quarantine, but I was with him longer than I was with my parents. He's family. Like he's kind of like a brother now, which sounds very strange. But as I came out, like he's very, he dealt with his own toxic masculinity when I came out as trans. I was queer our whole relationship. We were poly. And, but when I came out as trans, it was weird. He was like, what does this mean for me? Like, it was very like, am I gay? What does this mean? And I was like, no, this is about me, buddy.
Yeah.
But it's about me.
Stop making this about you.
Right. But there we were. But then, once he got over that stuff, it was really cool. Like he's very sweet when I put outfits together and stuff. He's a Virgo, so he's got his fit on. His fit. So he'll be like, okay, do you want to go and we'll like go suit shopping together and I can help you pick things? Or I'll put like a sports outfit together and he's like, okay, you did good, but let me give you some notes. And it's like, it's very lovely. It's very sweet. We still we're working on some boundaries. We're working on like unwinding because we were very codependent for a very long time. That's what happens with trauma bonding and all of that. But we've got this daughter who's he used to be, I don't know if you know, my ex used to be a pretty popular rapper here in Seattle for years. In the early 2000s, there was a rap group called Common Market who opened for a lot. Like he played with Macklemore, he played with all the people. So did a lot of tours. So we did touring. So my 30s and 40s were very cool. Like we did a lot of music tours. We performed at all the clubs here. And Maddie would go on tours in grade school. She'd like go on tours and she's got pictures. She doesn't care. Like Maddie is such a huge music fan now and goes to festivals because that's how she was raised. So for me, like the transition was just familial. So it wasn't, you know, people are like, isn't it weird? And I'm like, no, he's family still. Like, we have boundaries. He's got his issues. I've got my issues. We're all doing this human thing for the first time. We all have issues. So to say one person has more issues than another, they're just doing their first life differently.
Yeah.
Like, that's all. So we're gonna see the whole family. Everybody tonight is the Maddie's debut in the Emeralds, the Jewels Ballet at Pacific Northwest Ballet. She's been on billboards all around this. Like,
I've seen her on these billboards, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
She's the one in green. She's the one in green.
I love that.
Listen, as a mom, as somebody who was raised and had a baby young, as a mom, seeing that. First of all, she's a Virgo too. So she looked at me at 9 and we went, I know, 2 Virgos. I was outnumbered, bitch. Listen. Talk about like God. 2 critical bitches, 2 of them. So I took her to the ballet when she was like 9 here. We got free tickets. She was a dancer at Cornish, and she looked right at me and she goes, I want to dance on that stage. And I was like, okay, that's a lot. A. Yeah. And B, like the life of a dancer is really hard, Bear. And it's really like hard to get to. I was like, I'm a very honest human being. Like, if you ask me to be honest with you, prepare. Because I will tell you. Yeah. That's the Leo. I mean, I'm like, all right. And I looked at her and I was like, I will be honest. You have like a 3% chance of getting a job in the dance world that is going to make you money. On top of that, getting a dance job in your own hometown is so hard. Yeah. She looked at me and she goes, I'm ready. Tell me what I need to do. And I was like, all right. Like, and I started rambling off everything to deter her. I was like, you're not going to have weekends. You're not going to have slumber parties. You're not going to have a childhood. Your summers, you're going to have to train in different cities. You're going to have to travel. You'll probably have to move away from home, like all these things. And she was like, Mom, this is what I want. That bitch pointed at the goal. Yeah. And now she's dancing on the stage that she pointed at.
That's very Virgo. Like,
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, you are a powerhouse. Yeah. When she got hired at the company, the director brought her to the office and he said, if you would have told me 10 years ago when I met you that you would be a dancer for me, I would have told you that wasn't going to happen. Oh. You came in like a dark horse. I did not see you coming. Even when you were training, I didn't think you were good enough. And then one day you just hit it into high gear. And she was like, I said, that's what I wanted to do. And I was like, damn. I mean, but we are a Capricorn Virgo team, that Beyonce Blue Ivy. Like, ooh, we got the Earth team. So she's now promoted. She's a soloist. And so she's got this big, so her godfather came into town from Louisville, Kentucky. And she's got a bunch of friends coming tonight. I got like a pocket square for my suit that's green for emeralds. And I'm going to paint my nails green. So the Leo is so excited for my outfit. Yeah. That's a good. I'm so ecstatic for you. That is so that's what parenting is. So when you talk about know that you have this nephew now and like all of these things, like you don't get it until you get it. And then you're like, because if you're raised with any toxic parents like mine, I don't have contact with my mom. Yeah. Barely my dad. And I don't have close family to create your chosen family. And I think Isaiah said that oh my God, Isaiah, your birthday is the same as my partner. I am also with a Capricorn. Capricorn power team is awesome. That's because crazy. They speak my language. They speak my code. I'll do something that I think is sly, and they're like, I know exactly why you did that. I'm like, damn, that sucks.
Oh my God.
But being a parent, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Why did somebody trust me with a baby at 21? Like, what is happening? But you just do the best you can in being raised, but also raising myself with her and like growing up with her. Now having like going out and going to happy hour with her and telling her when I came out as trans. Yeah. I was terrified. And she was like, Mom, do I get to still call you Mom? And I was like, yes, that's always going to be your word. And she said, are you happy? And I said, yeah. She goes, you look happy. She's like, that's all that matters. And I was like, oh, I think I did it right. Like, I think I raised you right. So And this bitch found herself a Capricorn, so she's engaged and found herself a Capricorn. So she knew. She was like, I need to find somebody that is going to be a power team with me. So
I love that. I love that. I love that so much. Well, you have some big things going on, not just this evening, but next weekend. You have some exciting things going on. Tell me what's happening. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I have a project called Faces of Fortitude that I lost my brother to suicide when I was like 35. And so like 15-ish years ago. And he was 26 and he was just the world was he had a big open heart and the world was just too hard for him, I think. He was very sensitive to it. He was not desensitized, I think, was a lot of it. Anyways, that kind of started the trajectory of my life after that. I wasn't planning to go into death care, but now that's where I'm working. So I work in death care. So I teach some guest classes around suicide care. I'm taking a death doula class now. I'm about to jump a little bit more into the death world with that. And then this art installation that I do is ongoing to just hold spaces for people that have been connected to suicide. You don't have to have lost somebody. You could have contemplated taking your own life and decided to stay. You could have tried to save a friend, any of that. And I'm doing my first really big gallery. I do pop-ups kind of everywhere once in a while, but this is every photo I've ever taken. So 200 photos in different sizes and different quotes. And it's going to be kind of an experience. And it's going to be a mental health fest. So there'll be some resources, there'll be some crafts and snacks and poetry, and there'll be a low sensory room where people can get some tea and cozies and like that. Just because it's going to be really emotional too. There's a lot of emotion around these topics, but I get a lot of, I just don't want to cry right now, or this is really heavy. And I'm trying to very gently explain to people, we need to be able to talk about hard shit with each other. Yeah. We need to be able to cry with someone. Because we're about to enter this space of time that's going to be hard, politically. So we need to be comfortable being vulnerable with each other. So that's what this space is a space for people to come and land softly and be vulnerable and tell their stories and see this art installation. It's at the LGBTQ plus Center of Seattle, formerly known as Gay City on the Hill. And it's free. And I'll have some of my books there because I just put out a book in December. And there'll be lots of freebies too. Lots of stuff for people to just come get for free and hang out. But yeah, I'm like 95% done putting the exhibit together. It's a lot of moving parts.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I've got my partner, thank God they're a Capricorn too, because they're just like, let's do it. Let's get in the little nooks and crannies. So yeah, but I'm really excited. I'm very grassroots in how I do. Like, I'm not taking an ad out in the stranger, and I'm not like going on the news. Like I want this to get to the people that need it. Yeah. Not the people that think it's cool. Does that make sense?
That makes so much sense.
I'm kind of over. TikTok taught me very fast the difference between having a bunch of people that just want to watch you and feel entitled to your presence and to your life versus people that want to be around your energy, no matter what your energy is. And celebrate you as a flawed, fallible human being. Yeah. And TikTok doesn't really treat people like flawed, fallible human beings. They just treat you like a commodity in many ways.
Something to market, something to...
Yeah. So that's what's going on next week. I'm also in the middle of taking a death doula class to kind of add to the work that I'm doing, because we just don't talk about the end of our life, and we don't celebrate people's lives at the end. We give baby showers, we give bridal showers, we do all these things, but we don't celebrate people on their way out until after they're gone. which is wild to me. Man, if you lived, I want to know your stories. I want to know what you want. What do you want to smell on your way out? What do you want to, what music do you want to hear? What faces do you want around you? Like, so this class has been really great to help with my other work. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on right now.
Wow. That's, the more I learn about you, the more I feel like we're very interconnected. Because a lot of the things that I do, the reason why I love sharing stories and being so open and honest is because one of my friends in my immediate friend group in high school, she lost her life to suicide, and it was due to parent neglect. So like there was that rift in parental relationship. But I still have saved their MySpace bulletin board, like their last thing that they were like asking for help.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those things of like, that was like my reason for like, I'm going to get out of this town. I'm going to leave this town. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to make something of my life. I'm not going to be stuck in this religion where I'm uneducated and I'm just pumping out babies and going to church and doing all the, like, I want more to my life. And I think of Chelsea often. Sorry.
No.
I think of Chelsea often, because of how she was so interconnected. She was dating one of my friends, and it was like watching them crumble. And I have so many friends who've gone into addiction and substance abuse, and watching those people who were really affected by this one thing that like it affected everybody in our school and our community, and just seeing how people moved on so easily, or people's lives were changed from it. A lot of people went into substance, and myself included. I'm not, any different, but knowing that like that was a huge catalyst of like, I have to get out, because not because I'm avoiding trauma at this point, right, but it was, I got to make something of my life, because that's what Chelsea would have wanted in her life as well. And I want. And she was always the person that would sit down with you at the lunch table, have conversations, talk to you. It was like every version of, the jocks or the, emo kids or the band geeks, which is where I fit in, but just meeting people where they are. And I hold that space now 20 years later, knowing that like, if Chelsea made that big of an impact, how much more can we grow from there? So I love the work that you do.
Thank you for sharing about Chelsea. I feel like souls like that are lost so young are still, I mean, I believe our energies are still, I think Chelsea is just right here going, bitch, why are you telling people about me? Like, but I do think that it's so important, because we don't think about the needs of meeting people where they're at and what that looks like, because we want to meet people where their potential is, or where we think they should be. And that's a huge, big part of community, because I think the number one fix for suicidal ideation is community. Period. I think that there are chemical imbalances, there are family issues, there are access issues, but all of those things can be fixed with community.
Agreed.
And we kind of forgot what that looks like because of quarantine, because of communism, or not communism, capitalism. Because of, the instant media, instant everything is convenient. We don't need people anymore. We don't need each other anymore. We can just dial up Amazon. We can just do what we need for ourselves. And that's really, I thought about community when you and I communicated once, when you were going through something and you were upset that somebody had come into your apartment or something, or you were feeling embarrassed. And I remember saying, like, there's so much more to community than that. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
you needed community at that moment, and you didn't
Yeah.
have it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, how easy would it be to do that for each other in those moments of just like, hey, that was hard, but that's not who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I do believe a lot of the things that I think where it's like meeting people where they're at is completely counter to my family culture, because my family culture was clean yourself up, put on makeup, put on a nice
Make
outfit.
yourself presentable. Yep.
Right. Make yourself presentable. Don't talk about the things that are bothering you. Only talk positive.
Yeah.
And never addressing the things that are actually going on. And my brain does not comprehend that. I do not understand why put on this act, because literally you're asking me to be an actor here, to pretend like everything is fine. But at home, all these traumatic things are happening. Parents are screaming. We're going through, mental health crises. This, family members in jail, like all these things are going on. I'm watching my friends, use substances, and I can't talk about it. I can't meet people and talk about the things that are going on.
I love when your East Coast accent comes in. I'm like, let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's
go.
talk about it. That's so funny. That's what happens when you move to New York for 10 years and you come back and it's still there. It's that piece of me.
I've never lived there, but when I get attitude, it'll come out.
I believe that there's a little bit of New York in everybody. Come on.
Especially if you're Italian, like
it's
just there.
Yeah, it's basically in your DNA.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's completely like, because my parents are boomers. They were born in the 50s.
So we've got parents the same age.
Yeah, well, they had me because I was an oops kind of
got it
thing. Yeah. 40th birthday present to my dad. Which is like,
yeah,
yikes. Dad. Sorry.
So you get it. So you were born. My mom was born in 51. So you
1950, 1955. So
yeah, we're all traumatized the same. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen, it's one of those things that I sucked it up, like the way that my parents were so different, and how, because my dad was also in the military during like September 11th.
Double whammy.
During September 11th, it was like,
fuck.
I didn't see my dad like on a continuous basis after September 11th. Didn't really see him. No relationship with my dad, because that was like right as I was going into like middle school.
But also how traumatizing and scary seeing everything on the news and knowing that you're dead.
I always talk with my sister about this. Literally the year before, we watched the kingdom fall. Right? They did an implosion of the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
So watching that's like, oh, these are two.
Was that the year before? That's wild.
I'm pretty sure it was either 2000 or 99. Can't remember.
I don't know dates around that time anymore. So I was shocked.
It's crispy in my brain, but like comprehending, one is a building falling. There's nobody inside. That was like a very contained demolition. Here is not contained. This is an act of terrorism, however they want to say that. And I'm actively watching people who are still in these buildings perish. And they did not put any warning,
the videos that
trauma
were
responses
those weeks. It's incomprehensible what they let people see.
Yeah. And there's been so many times in our sphere of news cycles where they just let it unfiltered without any like warning or whatever. And especially with what happened earlier this month with watching Charlie Kirk be assassinated, which is like, don't like the guy, don't like anything that he stood for, but I firmly believe, actively watching someone die and there is no like aftercare, like check in on yourself. How are you doing after this? What, like, none of that. So just watching all of this trauma, and it's like, my parents' culture is suck it up, go on through life, whatever. But their news cycle were newspapers. Like, oh, this traumatic thing happened. Maybe there are pictures. We literally have phones in our hands of, I could watch all of this trauma happen and no one's checking in on me.
It's been fed to us for so long through our news cycles.
Yeah.
There's a face in the project that's a boomer, and she talked about the Time magazine cover from the Vietnam War. She said there were pictures of dead children on the cover of Time magazine. She said, I went to bed not wanting to wake up in the morning because I didn't want to live in a place that allowed me as a 13-year-old to see it. She was like, what? She was like, there was nobody keeping this from us. And so it's almost like this. Well, it's not almost, it's definitely like, it's emotional warfare. And we're being gaslit to think that we are not under emotional warfare, but we are, because we know that they can control everything we see. We know that we were supposed to see that, unfortunately, with Charlie Kirk. Like, so at what end? Like, what end are we exposed to these things and not learning to take care of ourselves? That's part of the reason I wrote my little Bloom book, is because I was at the point where I was like, I'm taking care of my plants better than I'm taking care of myself, because I'm taught that I just am supposed to deal with all this stuff. Yeah. When in reality, we're all shaky messes because we're not taught. And I think it's time to take the reins back for ourselves.
Agreed. Well, we are at the end of our little show here. Tell us where we can find you, and tell me something that you feel gratitude for.
Well, you can find me across most social media platforms just at Faces of Fortitude. You can look me up on LinkedIn with my full name if you want. If you do that, that place is so confusing for me. My managers are like, you have to have it. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Okay. It's just a bunch of corporate people saying how they can do better corporate things. It's weird. It's like, did you know that? And I'm like, no, Chad, I didn't know that. So anyways, you can find me on there. You can find me on YouTube. I'm not very big tuber, but I should get into it. And my website, facesoffortitude.art. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for this opportunity to speak to people. And I'm grateful to have a meat suit right now to experience the world, like, with all of its imperfections. And I just have to remember I've got a body to walk around on a planet that's spinning through the sky.
It's wild to think.
It's wild. I'm like a alien to other aliens. So I'm just excited to be here.
Wow. I love that so much.
Oh, Isaiah followed me on Blue Sky, the one place that I'm just like, I think I gave up on it, but I'll be on there for you.
I got to follow you on there, because I'm starting to, so the wrestling community, so because I'm part of that, used to be that, now I watch it. It's the thing of something happened, Me Too movement happened, people called out abusers, and now everyone who doesn't like those people are now on Blue Sky.
I don't understand that. It just goes very slow. It's like Sleepy Town for Twitter. It's like,
it is.
Are you guys awake?
It's, to me, it's like before Twitter got too corporate. So I kind of like this slow interaction, because then I have time to respond. But that's also my brain.
Fair.
But yes, all of us who don't partake in the Twitter space. But you can find me anywhere there is social media _queer auntie. If there's not an underscore, like Substack, who doesn't allow underscores, or Twitch, it is just the queer auntie or queer auntie over there. Go find me on all social media. Support me on Ko-fi, buy me a coffee or whatever. Show your support, and we love you guys so much. Oh, I should probably say
having
something.
Me.
Have gratitude for. I have gratitude for you and having this conversation because I love community and I don't know why it took us so long to get here. Oh my goodness, Ellen, you've been in the chat this whole time? Cutie patootie over here.
And we need to actually like meet up in person one day, and I'll buy your coffee in person.
We'll buy you a coffee in person.
Okay, cool. We'll buy each other coffees.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, well, have a wonderful week. Stay wonderful, stay wild, be hydrated, and do good things. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Take care.